Okay, we're ready to sew.
Here's the sewing machine. Typically when you sew, you want to try to use thread that's as close to the color of what you're sewing as possible so that it, doesn't show. In this case, I'm going to use white for two reasons. One is that it's easier to see on the video because it will contrast against the teal. And the second is that is what was already in my sewing machine, and I'm lazy AF. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is sew almost all the way around this. So I'm assuming if you're trying this that you own a sewing machine and know the very basics of sewing, but I'll kind of walk you through what I do here. So the first thing you're going to do is stitch a little bit forward and then back and then forward again, and that just kind of ensures that the end of the thread gets stitched back over, and so it's not going to come undone if it gets pulled. Okay, so here we go, stitching forward, stitching backward, and then we're ready to go forward again. This fabric is kind of thicker and there's 2 layers, and so it can be a little bit tricky to sew because the machine, it's just kind of thick and it's harder for the machine to feed it through. So I'm going to have to kind of baby it and pull on it as we go. The other thing is different patterns call for different seam allowances. That's just the distance between the stitches and the edge of the fabric. Things like pillows, it's really not that big a deal. If you're sewing off of like a pattern that you've measured and cut, then it really does matter. So in this case, I just kind of like to line the edge of the fabric up with the edge of the sewing machine foot, and that just is an easy way to kind of stay consistent as you go around the circle so that you don't move and get really off on one side. Okay, so I'm just going to sew all the way around this puppy. And one other thing is that if you are new to sewing or like things to be pretty perfect, you should pin this. I, again, am very lazy and like to get things done quickly and don't pin things. So that's just a personal decision you're going to have to make. There we go. So, see, mine are kind of coming apart. I probably should have pinned it. May live to regret that one. That's okay. Got a little wrinkle here. I'm going to try to kind of, there we go, stretch that out. Almost there. You can see my other stitches here are coming, I've almost reached my original point where I started. And so you don't want to stitch all the way closed yet because you need a way to turn it right side out and also to stuff it. So this is pretty stretchy fabric, so I don't need to leave as big of a hole because it will stretch around my hand. So I'm going to leave about probably about 3 inches gap. So I'm going to do another inch or so here. And then to end it, you want to do the same thing that you did at the beginning. We've gone forward, now we're going to go backward, forward again, and then cut it. My fancy machine cuts it itself, and we have sewed it.